All right, welcome. Today, we're going to crack open the writer's toolkit and really master one of the most fundamental skills you'll ever need in academia, the essay. All of our insights today are coming straight from Mohammed AbdEllah's fantastic book, Academic Writing, Simple Concepts and Easy Skills. So let's jump right in.
First things first, we've got to change how we think about the essay. Seriously, forget the idea that it's some boring, stuffy chore. Instead, I want you to picture it as a Swiss Army knife. It's this one super powerful tool that you can adapt to do pretty much anything, explain a really complex idea, paint a vivid picture, or, totally win a debate. It's your go-to gadget for getting your point of view out there.
So here's the game plan. We're going to explore this entire toolkit. We'll kick things off by figuring out what an essay actually is, and then we'll look at the universal blueprint that, believe it or not, fits every single type. After that, we'll dive into the specialized tools, the explainer, the painter, the balancer, the persuader, and finally, the one for uncovering cause and effect.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. What is this tool we keep talking about? At its core, what is an essay, really?
Well, at its absolute simplest, an essay is just a short piece of writing that presents your perspective on something. But it's also a test. Let's be real. It's how your professors figure out not just what you know, but how deeply you can think about that knowledge and, this is the big one, how clearly you can get those ideas out of your head and onto the page.
And here's the great news. It doesn't matter if you're writing about ancient Rome or the future of rocket engines. Almost every single academic essay is built on the exact same, simple, three-part foundation. We're going to call it the universal blueprint.
First up, the introduction. This is your hook. Its job is to grab the reader's attention and then state your thesis. And let me tell you, your thesis is the single most important sentence in your entire essay. It's the main argument you're setting out to prove. Then you've got the body. This is the engine room. This is where you build your case, paragraph by paragraph, using solid, hard evidence. And finally, you have the conclusion. You wrap up your points, you state your thesis again in a new way, and then you answer that all-important question, so what, right? Why should anyone care about any of this?
And these three things right here, they are the absolute backbone of that blueprint. Your thesis is like your North Star. It guides everything. Your evidence, the facts, the examples, the expert opinions, that's the proof that makes people actually believe you. And logical organization? Well, that's the map that lets your reader follow your thinking without getting lost. You nail these three, and you have built a rock-solid foundation for any essay you'll ever have to write. Okay, so with that universal blueprint locked in, we can start looking at the cool specialized tools in our kit. We're going to start with two that are all about bringing clarity and detail, the explainer and the painter. First up, we've got the expository essay, or as we're calling it, the explainer. Its job is pretty simple, to teach. It takes a complicated topic and just breaks it down in a clear, logical way. Now, the biggest challenge here, you have to resist that urge to throw in your own opinion. It's all about being objective and just explaining the facts. Just look at these topics, right? Explaining the legal challenges in the metaverse means you have to clarify some really complex tech and legal stuff. Analyzing globalization's impact, that's all about laying out economic and cultural facts. See? These aren't arguments. They're just clear, organized explanation. Now let's switch tools and grab the painter, which is just another name for the descriptive essay. Now, if the explainer is like a technical manual, the painter is a canvas. This is not about explaining facts at all. It's about using vivid, sensory language to make the reader literally see, feel, and experience your subject. Take a day in the life of a tuna fish. Your goal there isn't to list a bunch of facts from marine biology. No way. It's to make your reader feel the chill of the deep ocean, the thrill of the hunt, that constant threat of danger. You are literally using words to transport them to a different world. All right, next up in our toolkit are two instruments that are designed for a bit of a heavier lift. We're talking analysis and argument. So, meet the balancer and the persuader. The compare and contrast essay is the balancer. You pull this tool out when you need to put two things side by side on a scale and see what they have in common and what really sets them apart. And this isn't just listing features, okay? It's about drawing really meaningful conclusions from that comparison. So whether you're analyzing how two different Spike Jonze films explore loneliness, or you're dissecting the mechanics of two types of jet engines, or maybe weighing two kinds of green energy, you're using the balancer to find insights you'd totally miss if you just looked at each subject on its own. And when you're doing this balancing act, you've basically got two ways to organize it.
There's the block method, where you talk all about subject A, then you talk all about subject B. It works great for things that are really different. Then there's the point-by-point method. This one's more integrated. You discuss one point, like cost, for both subjects, and then move to the next point, like efficiency. This is usually best when your subjects are pretty similar.
Okay, now let's pivot to the persuader, otherwise known as the argumentative essay. This is where you stop just explaining things and you start trying to convince people. You take a firm stand on an issue that people disagree about. You present a super clear thesis, and then you just hit them with a barrage of evidence to persuade your reader that your point of view is the right one.
These topics are all up for debate, right? There's no single correct answer. Your job is to pick a side, build the strongest possible case for it, and, here's the secret sauce, you have to thoughtfully acknowledge and then shoot down the counterarguments. That's what makes an argument truly persuasive. It shows you've thought about all the angles.
We've made it to the final tool in our kit. This is the one you pull out when you need to play detective, when you need to uncover those hidden connections between events by asking, why did this happen, and so what happened next?
A cause and effect essay is all about tracing a chain reaction. You're not just describing what happened, you're analyzing this whole complex web of relationships to explain how a specific cause led to a particular effect. The key here is to avoid making it too simple, because it's almost never just one cause and one effect. It's usually a whole chain of events.
I mean, think about it. How did early space travel, the cause, end up impacting technology, politics, and our whole view of humanity, the effects? Or how is climate change, the cause, forcing us to completely rethink how we design our cities, the effect? This tool helps us understand the consequences of things on a much, much deeper level.
And there you have it, the universal blueprint and the 5 essential tools for mastering the academic essay. You've got the explainer, the painter, the balancer, the persuader, and the detective work of tracing cause and effect. So, I guess the only question left is, your toolkit is open. What idea are you going to build first?